Jim Brandt here with Best Practical, and today's video on new RT6 features is going to be about a new field on the regular ticket display page. So tickets are growing something new, and it is the description field. So in the past, for many use cases for RT, the thought was you didn't really need a separate field for description because for cases like support or help desk, often the create transaction was sort of that information that you would put in a description. It is what someone wrote in about and said, hey, I have this issue, I need some help, and that's where you would go. And then the conversation might go from there, and it would evolve over time. So it's not static, it's not just that create transaction. The support person might respond back, have some information, some additional questions, kind of evolves from there, and then hopefully you come to a resolution and the ticket gets resolved. Now you had always the subject field, which is the summary of what this is about. So again, if this ticket was created via email, it's just the subject that the user put in the email. And you can also update subjects, so you can change them. Again, if the subject turns out to be they report one issue, and then after some investigation, you realize, oh, that's not actually the issue, it's this other thing, you could go in and update the subject. But for other use cases, often people want to be able to record some core thing that indicates what is this ticket about. And project management is the typical case there, where a ticket is a task, right? So what is this task? What is it that this ticket is intended to get done? And that's really where a description field is very useful. Think about the same scenario where a task ticket is created and you have that create transaction down here. And similar to a sport ticket, a task ticket can evolve over time. So the initial thought, someone's creating a bunch of tickets for a project, they think they know exactly what this task is, then there's a few questions, or things change a little bit, or the project changes, so the task gets updated. And all that's tracked in the history, which is fine, but then the person who's coming to do this task then may have to come in and they have to read this initial create transaction, but then they have to go through all of the history as well to pick up on all of the changes, like how have things been modified as we've gone forward. And that's where a description field can be really useful, because this can be, like the subject, it can be updated over time so that as that conversation happens, there's always one spot on the ticket that says this is what this task is about. And again, you do have the subject field. The thought would be is the description field typically would be a little bit longer and have more content than the default subject field. Now this field will be, this new description field will be optional, so you do not have to use it. If you don't use it, then it just disappears and it gets out of your way. So if you have different cues that have different purposes, then you can use it just in the ones that make sense. So this is something that people in the past could have done and have done with custom fields. We just wanted to make it really easy to just make it a top level default ticket field so that for people who are using RT for things like task tracking, it's very easy to set this up. So let's just take a quick look at it. If we just click it open there, you can see it does use CK Editor as the editor for this. So you can do all of your HTML formatting in here. So you can add, bold, you can underline things, colors, whatever it is you want to do, emojis. You can put all of that in here. And again, you can edit over time, save. All of the changes, just like everything else on a ticket, are stored right down here in the history. We do collapse those because some of the changes can be larger. We just didn't want to blow up the whole history, but that's what a change looks like. So we do have that diff in there, so it's easy to see all of the changes, what was removed, what was added, so you still have access to all of that. And we'll also have full text search set up on description so that you can find tickets based on that, because that's another common thing that we expect people will want to be able to do. So I can just pick any word that's in that description. Let's see if we do a search here. And there we go. We got a ticket with the new description field. And again, just whatever content is in there. It will search on the current value of description. So it's not going to find old values if it's been changed. So if you get rid of some term in the description field, it's not going to find that. Just like any other field, when you search on status, it's the current status. But you could go into the transaction search if you did want to look for older values. Even better, you can actually put the new description field in your search results as well. So if it's something that maybe you want to use for project review or create a dashboard, You can just put it right here, and this tells you, right, if you just had a whole row of these, you know exactly what the description is, what the task is for all of these tickets. So I think that'll be super handy for people doing project management. And you can see I've already moused over it. There's the pencil. So you also have inline edit. So you can go right in and you can make edits right in line. So we'll change this to an inline edit. Just save. So if you have a whole series of these and you need to go in, again, maybe you're a project manager, you want to update a bunch of tasks, super easy to do that right from a ticket listing. If we come back over, you can see there's that change that's been made there. So last bit for this video, it's also going to be available on Create if you want to be able to set it up right when you initially create the ticket. So obviously you have an option here. There is the content of the ticket that will go into that first transaction on the ticket, and then will be an email that goes out. And then there is the description field that you can set up. We are going to add some scripts as well that will allow you to do some things like, for example, take the first create transaction and set description from that. And we'll also set up ways to do notifications, just like you can notify on a status change or other changes on a ticket, like you can notify when you've been made the owner. We'll have scripts where you can send out an email notification when description has been updated. So there you go. Another RT6 feature, a description, is now a core ticket field.